Couple of things. One, I was very verklempt yesterday because of what had happened to palladium. The thing is, I missed the top by a day, by one day, and I spent all of yesterday in self-flagellation mode. But the thing is that sometimes that last little spurt can be like 50% of the potential profit. So I was really unhappy. Mercifully, palladium has started to fall, and so I feel a lot less bad. And even better, the short's doing great. In fact, the only green on my screen, in terms of quotes, is stuff that I shorted early today that was really strong, like Delta Airlines, for example. DAL was up like 6%. I shorted it. Now it's up 3%. So yeah, it's green, but it's still a profitable short because I got it at a good price. So it's a really good day. And there's a lot of cool stuff happening. Let's jump into the charts and see what's what. Let's start with the diamonds. This was my biggest short. I've come to distrust afternoons. I had a nice profit on the diamonds, and I covered it about, 40 minutes ago. And good thing, because as usual, the market's undoing some of today's drop. But the thing is, this wedge I keep talking about, it's like, so what? We're sick of hearing about the wedge. The wedge is important. Because, look what's happened. We are turning away from the wedge. That's key because, we were just getting all fuzzy here. And the last gasp, the last attempt, which was a lifetime high, was right here, which I guess was Friday. And we've been turning away from that every day, a little bit of a lower high. And the diamonds today down about 1%. Like I said, my biggest position, covered it, took the profits. Not because I think this is like a great bullish setup, but on large ETF positions, I really just like to jump in and out. China, by way of FXI, is down even better, 1.29% right now. And even cooler than that is the fact that we have broken this uptrend for the first time. That's the uptrend, as with everything else, that was established on April 7. Say again, we have broken it today for the first time. And China basically apes whatever the U.S. market is doing. And so this should be interesting to watch break down. The cubes are down, but not much. They're in fuzzy mode still. Same trend line. Unlike the diamonds, which are kind of swooning away from the line, they're still hanging on for dear life. This is like the 10th or 11th day, more than a couple of weeks running. It's been just clinging for dear life. You might have seen the same stuff I did, which is basically, were it not for AI hyperscalers, were it not for those data centers being built, the economy would be completely moribund. We'd be in a recession, the market would be falling. There's one and only one thing. It's sort of like how in 1987, the only reason Apple was doing well is because of desktop publishing. I was there, I remember. That saved Apple's skin. Desktop publishing, that was it. Likewise, hyperscaling is saving the entire stock market across the world right now. That won't last forever. You're not going to have the next 30 years of announcements by Oracle and AMD and OpenAI about the new deal they've done. This virtuous cycle does end at some point. So the cubes are hoping to stave that day of reckoning off as much as they can. Hence, we've got 10 or 11 days of just playing jump rope with this trend line. Now, one last thing, semiconductors, SMH, along those same notes. I won't say it. We're still well above the trend line here. In spite of that, I am short a number of semiconductors. I shorted AMD early today when it was at a lifetime high. I'm still short ON. I don't know, MU, SMH, all kinds of odds and ends. So yeah, that semiconductor still hanging in there, down about 0.58% at the moment. Now, let's talk about precious metals. Finally, some selling. Gold was down over $100 an ounce earlier today. I swung by one of the places I like to go buy and sell bullion, and I asked, "How's business?" And the guy said, "Great, but what does that mean for our country?" And that was like almost word for word what I said yesterday when that silver chart popped on the screen. I was just sort of like, what does this mean? Because we were looking at how silver, it's like, could this be $200 an ounce in the future? And it's sort of like, kind of slams the brakes on when you look at a chart like that. And he had the same kind of like deer in the headlight reaction, like what's going on out there? Having said that, it ain't going to 200 in a straight line. I've been frustrated at the relentless march higher, but like I said, at last it's selling off. And it makes a certain amount of sense because you have seen, like, back last August, when I was writing about go to Costco and buy silver, that silly post, nobody was talking about silver. I mean, the reaction I got, like I said yesterday, gold's boring. What did Charlie Munger say? Gold's good if you're a Jew in the Holocaust and you're sewing it into your clothes. That was charming. This is a bizarre statement. I don't know if you remember when Charlie Munger said that, but that was his reaction. A person asked him about gold, and that was when it was cheap. Now, USA Today, like Ma and Pa Kettle, they're all talking about precious metals. That's when it's kind of like going to sell off because everybody's talking about it. And so it's weakening, and thank goodness, because after yesterday's palladium calamity, I still felt it was this in la la land. So I shorted GDX in size, just about as big as my palladium position, and that kind of saved my skin today. We'll look at that in just a moment. So GLD down, SLV really down. Look at the size of this range today. Really big. It's about at the midpoint right now. It's well off its lows. It was really selling off hard earlier, but I think there's more to come. But again, being kind of afeared of these bounce backs, I had good profits on GDX, and I went ahead and covered that. And I've no precious metals positions now at all, but I very much would love to see, hopefully weeks from now, a much lower palladium to get back in again and try to get it right this time. But yeah, this is the first meaningful down day we've had in months. And, at long last. So that's GDX. I almost went a little loony with miners yesterday because I did, as I said, shorted a very large amount of GDX. I also bought dust, but I didn't hang on to it. And shame on me because it was actually up over 10% today. I didn't want to go too berserk. But dust, it's a funny thing because as strong as gold and silver and palladium have been this week, dust kind of bottomed on Monday. Very strange. This, again, is the leveraged bearish instrument against miners. It bottomed on Monday. You could have bought it on Monday, set a stop just below the low, and even with all the mayhem that's gone on, you wouldn't have gotten stopped out. Miners were kind of fed up at that point with the lift, and so today they basically undid 2 weeks of losses in short order by way of dust. But yeah, like as I say, palladium is basically an upside down version of yesterday's chart. It opened up strong. I woke up this morning, palladium was up another $53. Like, oh my God. But that didn't last. And we're down on it. And, how far would I like to see it go down? Not really sure. This can have some beastly drops, from peaks here. Like, look at, we've got this one. We've got this one. We've got this one. It'd be easy to say, and this is a possibility, that, well, if it just gets down to this kind of mustard colored zone here, yay, that'll do it. Possibly, but it can be nasty. It can spend months kind of grinding lower. So it's a very tricky beast. But the simplest, cleanest, kindest retracement would be just back down to that breakout zone there. And we're not there yet. It's going to take some more droopage to get there. So anyway, again, no positions in either direction for me. But hello. I didn't say anything. Here's gold itself, the futures, and we can go way back on this one. And this really doesn't belong there. And so we'll just scooch this down to where God intended. Oh, anywho, you know what? Bye. We can see these sweeping bullish setups here, and I'll just say it again. I think gold's got a fantastic future. $5,000 announced this year could happen. But yeah, we've got to get some selling going. Got to burn off some of that craziness. Crude oil is down today about 2%. And that triangle we've been watching, that right triangle, is not broken yet. It's going to take a lot of doing to get there, but it might happen. If it does happen, I think that's quite a big deal. It could be just as big a deal as a bearish setup as precious metals are a bullish setup these days. It has held above that for years, but I'm watching that with great interest. What else is going on? Well, I've got 21 short positions. I'll just bang through just a few real quick here that are having good days today. Like I said, went ahead and shorted AMD today because I think it's just goofy expensive right now. Alibaba, a good day there, off over 4%. Hanging on to that one. Hang on to all these, actually. I'm not covering anything. Remember CC? Talk about it every day because I can't pronounce it. Look at this. Down almost 9%. And I think it's got plenty more to go. You've seen this chart. This is such a beautiful chart. Look at that gorgeous dome there. So that's hopefully a long-term keeper. Here's DHI, another good friend of ours. Down over 4% today. GPN, Global Payments, off almost 3%. All kinds of good things happening here. Here's Halliburton, HAL, down over 2%, thanks to the weak oil. Kohl's, KSS, itself down over 4%. On semiconductor, like I said earlier, I'm short some semiconductors, off about 2.5%. A couple more of these. Here's SLB, Schlumberger, down at 2.5%. And our good friend Wayfair, that is symbol W, off almost 6%. And that is just another honey of a chart. There's a lot of good, in spite of all this nonsense with the ETFs, there's so many good setups out there. Very exciting. So, we'll just end with this one last chart here. The go away. Here's RTY, the Russell 2000. And I don't think, let's check. I don't think we haven't quite broken the trend line yet. We're still kind of teasing it. Oh, it moved. But yeah, you know what? Before I let you go, let's just make sure. I want to be sure. So we've got the anchor point down on April 7. Yeah, we haven't broken it yet. Oh, we're close. Getting very close. One more day like today, and that would do the deed.